Welcome to Grid Penalty, the Formula One podcast for everybody. My name is Brent Gill. With me, as always, is my trusty right-hand man and left-hand man and in front-hand man, Geoff Tice. How are you, buddy?
Oh, dude, I am truly horrific. I feel awful, and I'm so excited to be here. It's so good.
I can't wait to get into it. We're going to cover that. We got a fun episode. We're catching up with what's happening with Merc, what's happening with Ferrari, Toto version 2.0, a.k.a. his wife, and then we got our Mazzy Award. But first, as always, what are we going to do, Geoff?
Let's get plugged. Let's get plugged up. Shout out Jason. Quick little note. He was like, my buddy Jason Zichterman, shout out to a friend of the pod. He was telling me at dinner the other night, he's like, I was taking a rage walk around an oil field. I was like, this is a great start already. This is
good start.
My favorite thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I caught myself saying out loud, let's get plugged. And I was like, dude,
Hell yeah, Jason.
I love him walking through some oil field and some like oil rig worker just hearing you with your like AirPods go, let's get plugged, just out in the field. So shout out Jason. I love you. Yeah, man, you can find me on jeffreytice.com all over the place. I'm fading fast already. GeoffRuitice on all social media. I'm out and about doing art and comedy and other things. I also have some shows coming up. 325, the Pikes Punk Show in Colorado Springs. I'll be headlining that. That is a Saturday. And then on Thursday, my birthday, March 30th, I will be headlining the Comedy Fort. That's a Thursday night up in Fort Collins. So I'm just hitting up the I-25 corridor all the way down from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins, just crushing it. So that's it. Yeah, and then if you, let's say, like, you have your earbuds in and you are walking on a rage walk in the middle of an oil field and you're like, dude, I am furious with my job. And I want to keep the laughs going. What you're going to want to do is you're going to walk all the way from Dacono. You're just going to go all the way down.
That's where the racetrack is. That's where
really?
High Plains Raceway is. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, we'll go out there with Jason. He rules. And so...
Yeah. There's nothing out there.
No, yeah, I think that's why he takes rage walks. I think because he can just walk forever. And so yeah. So you're gonna rage walk your way all the way down I-25, and then you're gonna get off on maybe Highway 7, and then just take that all the way over to Boulder, Colorado. You're gonna get to 28th and Valmont. You're gonna not stop at the Vacuums R Us. That'll only make you more mad. And then...
way more mad.
Yeah.
They don't even sell vacuums anymore.
No, it's just methamphetamine. That's all it is. And you're going to go in past the Coyote Cleaners. They don't even clean your car. They just sell coyotes now. It's just a whole bootleg operation of illegal black market.
It's a bunch of roadrunners selling coyotes.
Yeah. Getting them back for all that bad PR Looney Tunes put out into the world. And then you're going to not go to Cosmos Pizza because the slices are too big. I'm a big guy, but they are too big. The spicy ranch is good. But what you're going to want to do is go...
Heartburn.
Yeah, you're going to go to the 7-Eleven, get some antacids. Then you're going to go to the food trucks at the Rayback Collective at 7 p.m. for the Boulder Comedy Show, the greatest comedy show on earth.
It's true.
Swing through. See Brent, see Georgia, see BK. Maybe see me in 3 or 4 years. We'll see. We'll find out when this kid grows up.
At least the 10-year anniversary, you're going to be there. You might as well start advertising the 10-year anniversary.
Yes, that is actually
you'll be there.
A great call.
If you're not there, I'm going to be so fucking mad.
No,
I'm taking
I will.
your name off the promo.
Yeah. No, I'll be there. I'll be there for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I've been there too long to not miss that. But yeah, other than that, I'm feeling terribly emotionally, physically, spiritually. So how are you doing, Brent? Where can the people find you? And
I'm doing about as good as you are. I have to ask this, Geoff, because I know that we're both like not firing on all cylinders right now. We're definitely in limp mode right now. We are getting a McLaren blue screen to start the race off right now. Are you recording on your phone?
Yeah.
Is your light on?
No. Oh no, it's not.
Do you need it? I forgot to turn mine on too, so that's why I brought this up.
Here we are.
Just one.
You're a genius.
We forget that this is an audio format, yes, but we also have videos. You can find our grid penalty videos.
That's really funny.
Our video editor does a great job, and I just don't want her to have to color correct your dumb face.
Welcome to the studio. We're back in the studio. Yeah. That's a great catch. I was just like, man, I look terrible. And then I turned the light on. I was like, oh, I just look terrible with light on my face now.
I look so bad. My beard is so full. I look I look awful. But I'm great.
We got good attitudes. We're feeling good.
We have great attitudes. We're going to have a good show.
All that matters.
I'm very excited about that. Yeah. I'm hoarse. It's been a long day. We'll tell you why. Yeah. First of all, here's where you can find me. Check me out on the Instagrams. I am Brent Gill. That's it. At I am Brent Gill. My comedy special is on there live from Philadelphia.
Yes.
I'd love for you to watch it and share it with your friends. Also, you can find me not throwing up right now. You can find me Friday, March 17th in Denver at High Note Comedy at Skylark Lounge with Jordan Rock. We're bringing him in.
Nice.
And we're bringing a buddy of mine named Cortland Wiggins coming in from Atlanta. So we got a pretty cool out of both coast lineup there. Saturday, I'll be doing a Don't Tell Comedy in Denver. So you can check that out, don'ttellcomedy.com. Nice. And then Boulder Comedy Show, I will physically be at Telling Yokes on Sunday up in Boulder, Colorado at the Rayback Collective. I'm going to be doing a Chiba Hut tour here in a little bit,
nice.
Which I'm bringing up for no reason because I have no dates. It's just on the list. So here we are. Shout out to our amazing producer, Kat Orlean. We love her. Follow her online at KO Recording. And then our amazing video editor, Jan, at Points in a Williams.
Boom.
The Nick DeVries special. We love her. She's editing some great stuff. So check out our videos on YouTube, which is just search for Grid Penalty F1. And you can find us on Instagram at Grid Penalty F1 as well. And then you can see what we look like when we do this.
We're hot. We're hot guys in hot cars. We're the same as Ferrari. It's basically Carlos and Charles. We're the same. It's the same duo.
Hot guys in hot offices.
That's it.
You know? That's what it is. I'm in my Colorado room, which looks like a jail cell in a fucking mental institution.
Yeah, it looks like, I think we've said it looks like a Norwegian jail cell. Like it's just.
You get a window and blinds, but that's about it.
That's it. Yeah.
No art for you.
Nope.
But Geoff, your show, first of all, I would like to give props to Geoff. He had his debut headlining at Comedy Works, and it was incredible. The crowd was awesome. You had a big crowd, too. They were all pumped to see you.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fans of the podcast there, which was dope.
Awesome. Yeah.
Wasn't that cool?
It was crazy.
I signed a McLaren picture, which just looks like more advertisements on the picture. But you know,
shout out to Kelsey who brought. She ruled. That was really fun. Man, it was so overwhelming. It really was fun. It was a good time. It was too many people that I knew. I've never done a show with that many people that I know, and that made it just a few degrees more difficult, but also easier because I didn't have to really worry about the material. Everyone was either going to laugh no matter what. And so it went really well. There was a lady on stage that I got to do crowd work with that was the highlight of the show. Just got to talk trash. Everyone's like, whoa, Jeff's mean? What? So
dude,
that was fun.
That's what people don't know about you. I've discovered this in this podcast. It was like, Jeff's got some bite to him.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he's super sweet. He's a dad of the year. He illustrates books. And instead he's like, yo, Jeff's kind of a dick.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He's got it in him.
Yeah, it's there. Well, Jim Gaffigan has a really good quote because Jim Gaffigan's like the nicest guy. His comedy's super clean. And he's like, we're all comedians. He's like, we're all furious. Everyone is angry. And I was like, yeah, man, I get it. Like, it's just true. That's how it is. We're furious. So, yeah, that was really fun to have that come out and have a good time. Thank you for everyone who came out and grabbed a book and donated and just, it was incredible. It was way too much fun. It was way too much love. It was the best. I had a great time. I was telling Quinn, the manager, I was like, dude, I might even go out and have a drink after. I might have one drink. I might.
Just one, he says. Just one.
Yeah.
I got blacked out on Thursday. Dog, I don't even want to tell you. I don't want to put my story on the air. I was so blacked out on Thursday. I've been drinking every day since your show.
Yeah, that's great. Just run it into the ground. That's awesome.
Fuck my voice. You know? Who cares? I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I feel the same.
But
I didn't get.
You had a good time though, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't get blackout, but I mean, my voice was on the edge, and then I had a day off, and then last night I did 2 corporate gigs for an HOA. Like,
Oh, wow.
just such a weird setup. But it was,
like
again,
2 shows?
Yeah, 2 shows at an HOA, and they were like, it was weirdly good, but
Oh, really?
so
Oh,
weird.
okay.
Yeah, so weird. And
was it like the HOA presidents, or was it like the HOA scheduled a comedy show for their people?
yeah, it was the HOA. Like, I drove into the neighborhood and I was like, they should have this much money. This is crazy. The houses were huge. Wow. It was on a lake. Like the HOA, little clubhouse was on a lake, and they put on a great show. They had bartenders, a full bar. It was wild. And so
wow, that's pretty cool.
Pretty insane, actually. And so my voice is just on the edge of exploding because I was fighting with suburban house moms last night for 2 nights.
Come on, rosé all day, baby.
Yeah. So feeling good, feeling fresh. But yeah, it's been a long week. It's been a long month, and this next couple weeks I'm gonna just do shows, take it easy, not go too crazy. But yeah, so you
that'd be fun.
You're not dead. You're great. You're hanging in there.
I'm standing upright.
Yeah.
Which is a plus. Yesterday, so today's Sunday when we're recording this. Yesterday, Denver celebrates St. Patrick's Day the weekend before St. Patrick's Day for some reason.
Oh, jeez.
And so so Friday, I had to drive up to Fort Collins to sell my Jeep.
You sold the Jeep?
I sold the Jeep.
Look at you getting rid of cars.
Right, and the money's going right into my other car.
Yeah,
but it's the Jeep sold. I'm down to 3 cars technically because I don't have the title for the 4th.
It's hilarious. Doesn't exist. Yeah.
So I went up to Fort Collins, did some shows at the Comedy Fort, which were very fun.
Place rules.
And I got caught up on all the Colorado gossip for the comedy show, and I was like, well, I got an Uber home from Fort Collins. It was a $120 Uber.
Damn.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking get drunk again then.
Yeah.
So I get drunk. Dog, this is so. I cannot tell you how true this story is. Okay, I'm driving back. I get in the car, and I'm like, hey man, just want to make sure that you're okay with what you're about to get into. And he looks at the map. And he's like, nah, all right, that's fine. So I give him a 20 in cash. I was like, thanks, dude. I know this sucks, but you're gonna get a lot of work down there as well. Whatever.
Yeah.
So we're driving down, and he's like got EDM playing and stuff like that. And so we just start talking because I'm going to be in the car for an hour and 15 minutes with this stranger.
Yeah.
So we're having a conversation and stuff like that. And he's flying down this construction zone. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm along for the ride. Let's see what happens. And he goes, so we're talking. He goes, hey, man, do you want a bump?
Oh.
And I go, and this is about the pause that I was like,
oh.
Yeah, I do actually. That sounds like fun. Yeah. And he goes, dope, man. And then he turns up the music, and that's what he meant.
Oh, my God.
Bro, I swear to God, I wasn't sure. I was like, you are a degenerate,
Was
Brent.
he
what are you doing?
What I was hoping, he's like, do you want a bump? And then you're like, yeah. And then he turns the music up, and then he's like, I'm a cop. We're going to jail. And you're like, oh, no. Yeah, it's like To Catch a Predator, but just a party guy.
Dude, it was so funny because I was like, the thoughts that went through my head, I was like, well, sure, this guy is speeding through a construction zone while he's driving me, and it's not just like he's going to give me a bump. We are going to be doing a bump. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, fuck it. You know, we're already going 90 and a 70.
Team game, dude. Let's all just, that's crazy.
And I almost said, well, like, is it good? Because even if I said that, I feel like he still would have responded with like, yeah, man, I built it myself.
Yeah,
and it turns out it was so embarrassing. So that was Friday.
Yeah.
Saturday, yesterday, it's St. Patrick's Day, so I go out at 1 and I start drinking. And my show is at 8. I'm doing Steve's show at kind of near my spot out here in Denver. And by 3 or 4 o'clock, I'm like, oh no, like I have to keep drinking now.
Yeah.
Like if I stop now, I have to go home and nap, and then I'm gonna wake up hungover. I'm gonna wake up tired and grog. So little inside baseball with comedy. Once you get fucked up for a little bit, it's like you just gotta ride this train.
You gotta keep it going.
You gotta ride the train.
The only thing that matters in your schedule is showing up with high energy for however many minutes you have that day to do stand-up. Everything on both ends of that schedule doesn't matter. So if you start drinking at 1, it's like, okay, everything building up to needs to make me at my top energy. Which explains so much of like why comedians are like, yeah, I do so much cocaine, because it's like,
yeah, dude, I gotta do this at 10 p.m.
Yeah, you gotta be at your best at 10 p.m. when everyone's like hammered, tired, about to fall asleep, and you're at like your noon energy. You're like, I gotta go. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. I get it.
It was tough, and so I get a Uber home to my house here. I shower up. I eat a couple Adderall, which I'm prescribed.
Yes.
And then I go to the show, crush some poke, and then there's it's like in this market where there's like food court. It's like food and drinks. There's a liquor
like
store.
A big
there's
food
a brewery.
hall kind of thing.
Yeah. So I've been drinking tequila all day, just tequila on the rocks all day long. Heartburn City.
Yeah.
And I just go into the liquor store and I buy a flask of tequila, and then I get yelled at for drinking it in the brewery. They're like, that is so against our liquor license. You cannot do that.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm headlining. It's fine. And they're like, no, you can't do
like,
that.
we don't care. We don't care.
So I shelved that for a little bit. Did a great show. I was very happy with the show.
Good, yeah.
They all loved it. Met the owners and everything. It was fun. So then I go to Ben Bryant's show at Denver Comedy Underground and meet David over there, Borey.
Yep.
Fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
And I show up with this flask of tequila, and I just go in the green room and just start yelling and holding court. Apparently, I'm like borderline blackout. Then like they come in and the show ends, and it's chaos on my end.
Yeah.
And of course we go to the Squire Lounge, which is a dive bar,
block away.
Yep. And I just kept drinking tequila, and then I started talking about cars.
Oh no!
I couldn't stop.
Yeah, and then the bar just slowly empties, and it's just you on the dance floor with an empty bottle of tequila.
Talking to myself about cars.
Yelling, it's Daytona Violet. It's Daytona. Everyone's like, all right, we got to get out of here, man.
Oh, it's so funny. Also, check this. So I bought a steering wheel out in California, and I was like, they're not going to let me take this on the airplane.
Yeah.
It's got an airbag. You're not allowed to, are you allowed to bring an airbag on an airplane?
That's wild.
Like, it's an explosive that fires out. Like, one dude was like, you could make an improvised device to blow open a cockpit with this. I'm like, why are you saying this?
Hey, man, don't say it
out
out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, think it in your head. Yeah. Don't say that. Not a problem at all.
That's so
They didn't
wild.
even open my bag. I was like, this is a problem.
You're like, jeez. I like the idea of you walking on with it like unwrapped out of your bag, like past the pilots as you board. And you're like, yo, just in case, man, I'm just hook this up. I'll take over. I got it. It's all good.
You're actually not far off because it didn't fit in my suitcase.
Hilarious.
So I did have to just carry it in my hand.
Carry it, yeah.
The steering
This
wheel.
guy thinks he's got a chance to take over. Well, if I need to take over, I just want to be comfortable. I want my own gear. That's it.
The air marshal walks by, just shows his gun. He's like, so we're fine, right?
We're good, bud. We're good, bud. All right.
We got no problems, correct?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. So it's been a day, and I don't. So the problem is when you drink 3 days in a row, you have to keep the train going, or you're going to lose that steam.
Yep.
But I don't want to drink today before Boulder.
Definitely don't. Don't do it. Just let that steam engine slowly come to a screeching halt. And then
I forgot I have to get filmed for a documentary tonight.
Oh no!
For Vinny. God damn it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got a lot
going on. He's like, tell
on.
Stories about me being a cop, and I was like, all right, well, let me
do that blackout. That is funny.
That is unshaven, just looking like a fucking.
Yeah.
God damn it! I forgot about
that. That is funny.
Anyway. So it's been a weekend, and it all started with you, buddy.
It was fun. I set it off. I'm sorry that I set off your spiral into a week of craziness.
Speaking of spiraling, actually, I was at the show. Elon Stribling was there.
Shout out to Elon. He did an incredible job. He crushed super hard. So did you. Everyone had a great set, but
it was very fun.
Super fun.
But Elon, if you're following him at Black Steve Irwin, unfollow him.
Yeah.
Okay. He unsubscribed to our show in the off season. I was like, you were on the show twice.
That's so
You were on the live show in Austin, and you just unsubscribed from our podcast.
That's such a comedian move. They're like, hey, I support you, but also you're taking up too much data, so I need to clear out.
Oh, I was furious.
So
I was like, how
funny.
dare you? You're about to stay at my house. How dare you?
Yeah.
Unsubscribe from me.
I love it. I love it. He should just subscribe just for the days he stays at your house, and then unsubscribe when he checks into his flight to leave.
Come on, give me that extra download, Ian.
Yeah.
Quit being a dick. Quit holding that
Ooh,
from me.
I love that. That's very funny.
Yeah. So, but speaking of drama, though, let's get into it. We have a couple big things have been happening here lately. First of all, Merc is falling apart. Mercedes are they done? Like, do they even have a chance anymore? I feel like the reign of Mercedes is completely over now.
Yeah.
And there's no coming back till 2026.
The regulations torpedoed them. I think the downfall feels real, and it's only after week 1, but the alarm bells are going off on so many different directions now.
It's so bad.
It's not great.
What, dude? What happened? So I saw this on Reddit. Shout out.
Shout out to Reddit.
Shout out to how I've now been wasting all of my time because I turned on notifications and I'm like, and I love it now.
Oh yeah, your life is different now.
I hate notifications.
Yeah.
But for Reddit, I was like, let's see what this Formula One's talking about.
Yeah.
But apparently, Lewis was talking to them and was pretty adamant on like where there were pitfalls in the car and in the build and in the theory of the car. And I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, they just didn't listen to him?
According to Lewis. That's what it was kind of wild. It was a quote that I was like, this seems a little out of character for Lewis. But yeah, in an interview, he said that, he knows a lot about these cars, obviously. He's, raced his whole life. He kind of just prefaced it with like, guys, I'm Lewis Hamilton. And goes right into saying that like these new cars that they doubled down this year on the same philosophy and the same car design from last year, and it's just not paying off. But he said they just didn't listen. And to me, that's crazy that he said that out loud, that it wasn't something that stayed internal. Mercedes has always been so good about squashing that internal alarm bells and, putting a good face forward. It's easy when you're absolutely dominating for a decade to make sure everyone falls in line. But it really kind of raised eyebrows, I think, because people are like, whoa, that's crazy. I can't believe Lewis would say something like that.
About his team.
Yeah, basically being like, the team messed up.
When you think of Lewis Hamilton, of course you think a little bit of like McLaren, but to me he is so synonymous with Mercedes that I can't see him anywhere else now.
No, and I don't think he can either. I think he's to the point where he's like, I'm here until I leave, and so I'm just gonna let him know this is what's going on. They're still those. They're
not terrible.
No,
but
no, they're just not there. And I think even with what we talked about last week, like they came into Bahrain, they did testing after the first race. They weren't that far off the gap, and then but in Formula One world, that is far off. They like saw I think they see the writing on the wall that this car
over 70 laps.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like if you're behind and then you multiply that by 70, you're about 38 seconds behind, as we've seen.
Yeah. So the car needs to change, and whether they do that immediately or they just start focusing on 2024, people have said maybe they just ride it out and they don't even develop this car very much. I think they are bringing a new package to Jeddah, but it's not going to be like a major overhaul. So we'll see. But again, it's like, it just is such a mess over there. I gotta love like people like Bottas, who kind of got chewed up by that system. And then not that he's going to a team better, but it's probably like, you can just tell his mentality's better. He's got a mullet. Yeah. He's out here drinking big bitters.
He has a flesh-colored helmet that looks borderline like a penis with a mustache.
Which he also came out this week and was like, I knew it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
The Cromwell thing was just a cover.
It was all a cover. Yeah, he wasn't allowed to at Mercedes. He said that he wasn't allowed to have that haircut. He's like, I don't think I would be allowed to have that haircut and have like that type of helmet and have this much fun at Mercedes. He didn't say the name Mercedes, but he was like, certain teams, he did it very politically, very Valtteri. He's like, some teams just run differently. Things are okay. Things are not okay. And he goes, I don't think this haircut would have flown over at Mercedes, which is interesting because
especially looking at Lewis,
well, that's
covered
it.
in tattoos.
You win. You start winning world championships. You can start doing whatever you want.
You look however you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like look at Max Verstappen.
Yep.
He looks like a goober, but he.
Yeah.
But whatever. He looks like a Lego man. Like I feel like if you could put a Max Verstappen head on a Lego body,
yeah,
and that would look like that would look right. Yeah. It would look.
He
correct.
does look like a TJ Maxx mannequin all the time. Like he's just. It's like skinny jeans and a kind of fitting polo. And then just that's it. Like never anything more. He's got a backpack. Like a backpack's like too big sometimes. Like his first day of school. And then just like bright white sneakers. I love that. Yeah, the contrast between Max and Lewis's fashion. Obviously, Lewis and the rest of the grid fashion is the gap is pretty extensive. But
him and Charles is about all that is fashion there.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. And Pierre now is finally leaning towards that. But Pierre's funny because he'll show up in like oversized like Jordan shirts. I'm like, dude, that's so funny. Like it's so weird that he's wearing Jordan brand. He's like the smallest guy with these big oversized basketball shirts. Like, all right.
I'm just trying to hide these abs in this 19-inch wide neck that I've got.
It is crazy to wear a massive oversized shirt and you can still tell he's ripped. That's frustrating.
Yeah, dude, right?
Yeah.
The fucking French baguette. That's borderline inappropriate what I just said there. Actually,
that's
now
close.
I hear I don't know if I like that.
Well,
I just wanted to call him. I just wanted to think of the only thing that was French that I could think of, and it was a baguette.
Yeah. It
you
rhymes.
croissant.
Yeah, you got to go croissant. Yeah, you got to go champagne, celebratory. Yeah.
It's weird. So with Merc though, I don't fully understand because we know their motor is great.
Yep.
Aston Martin's running the motor, McLaren's running the moter, so that doesn't really help in my case. But we know it's a good motor. We know that Merc makes good motors, so it's the aero kit probably, but like. Yeah. I mean, like they've tried to pinpoint it, like they said they know where they screwed up, but do you think they're sticking to it because of this budget cap? Do you think that in the past they would have been like, fuck it, scrap the whole thing, spend another $180 million developing it, we don't care.
Yep.
And now they can't do that, and they're like, we have to sleep in this bed we made.
Yeah, I think it's a huge part of it. They can't throw as much money as they would have. They can't be as aggressive as they probably were in previous years during the hybrid era. And that's a huge consideration. I think they'll have to say, like Toto did say, they can't design two cars this year. Like they can't focus. They either have to completely flip and go through the pains of starting over mid-season where you're showing up to races with this hodgepodge of a car that you just don't know the effects of, or just stick with what you've got, try to upgrade in the right direction and do the best you can for this year, kind of just chalk it up to getting third or fourth in the championship, and then go after Red Bull and Ferrari next year with a Ferrari 3.0 car, or a Red Bull, 3.0. So,
but in my opinion, I feel like it's smarter to, I don't know, and I don't know shit about this. We're new fans as well, so I'll throw that out there. But to me, it's like, I don't know, I kind of like the hodgepodge approach.
Yeah.
Because then it's like throw a bunch of shit there and see how it all works, and maybe you might stumble upon something you had no idea was going to work.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, cool, let's take this and apply it to 2024.
Yep, totally. Absolutely.
Like I kind of like that, but
it
doesn't seem like that's the direction they're going.
No, I don't. I would think that there's too many factors in play with the factory and the systems involved in the projection of what this car is already going. Like they have development plans for this car through the year. And, they have the major touch points that they're trying to hit. And changing all of that, I think, is just probably too much of a logistical shift in the overall, everyone's lives in the factory would just be blown up. So I think it's more of like...
What, you think Mercedes gives a shit about that?
Honestly, no. I don't think so.
Right? I mean, they're like the evil empire in Star Wars. They are the Death Star.
I know. I love to think that people in Formula One have like work-life balance and conscious of when it comes to grinding people into the ground, but that's just not the case. We know that's not the case. We've seen how they're traveling across the world this year. Even if you just had to take those flights and you weren't working, you would be exhausted. If you were just flying alone and doing nothing and going on vacation in all those cities, That's an exhausting year. And they have to do that and then be at work every single hour that they're in those cities. That's crazy. Your life is just, that's your life. That's it.
Yeah. No. I mean, dog, not to mention how bad I feel for Lewis, because Lewis is a winner and Lewis can't really go anywhere. One, because no one can afford him.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no one's going to be able to match what Merc is paying him. How do you think? God, I feel so bad for sweet AI generated George Russell, the AI generated human.
Yeah, the chat GPT,
the walking crumpet.
yeah,
the chat GPT of humans. Yeah,
the prompt is just imagine a British driver. Yeah, man. I mean, he grinded it out hard with a good attitude for the most part at Williams for so long, for so many years. And then he finally got that opportunity to go to the Death Star, to run the Empire, and to become the, potentially world champion. And then they just go through these 2 years of just horrific turmoil relative to what they're used to, just the domination. Yeah. So, yeah, man, again, he's holding up well. He's performing well. His attitude seems great. I just can't imagine what that's doing to his spirit. Because he was like the golden child. He was supposed to be, and maybe there's still time for this. I mean, there's definitely more time for this to happen in his career. But man, it's kind of on par with. It's not as on par. I think it's probably more devastating than what Lando's going through. Lando was on this up and up. Carlos leaves and goes to a premier team who just starts dominating McLaren, and then McLaren every year has taken a step back. Yeah, and his talent and experience and prime are all elevating, and the car is just dropping off. Like, that's got to be just infuriating. Yeah. So, already chatter about him moving. There's already chatter about. Oh wow, really? Yeah, and like even Leclerc getting frustrated. He might move like at the end of his contract.
I could see those two move. Yeah, for sure. Do you think George would leave the Mercedes camp after he's been in it for so long?
I don't think so. I
don't think he would either.
Yeah, I think those relationships run too deep. And he hasn't been he hasn't been screwed over. He hasn't been publicly screwed over. There's still so much potential to win. It's not this hopeless wall of just darkness that he can't get through. I think there's still promised land for him that he can get to. And Mercedes, again, it's like, we're talking about the downfall of Mercedes and the doom and gloom, and they're like in third. And,
for now.
Exactly. Like third and fourth. Yeah. It's like,
once Lance figures out how to drive, I mean, he might. I don't know, dude. Yeah. It hurts my heart for them. Yeah. It really does. Yeah. I mean, as exciting as it is to watch, the Green Lantern start taking off. Yeah. It's weird to see that domination get so upended.
Yeah. Totally.
And it does make you wonder, did they make these regulations specifically in spite of Merc? Yeah. Which probably not, but I mean,
you never know.
I don't know.
Let's dig into the conspiracy. Put the tinfoil hat on. And I mean,
everything's fucked.
Yeah. It got shaken up so hard, and it's so fun, but the problem is, the annoying part is it got shaken up, and it is so fun from Team 2 down to Team 10. Team 1 figured it out, is crushing it, and now people are mad.
It was like a 38-second gap in Bahrain.
Yeah, and these are the same conversations that we were having when Merc was doing this. Everyone was like, dude, it's just bad for the sport. And then now that the nemesis is doing the exact same thing, you just kind of have to eat it. You kind of just got to be like, we might be doing this for a couple years. It might just be this.
The middle fight's going to be fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I hope.
Can we just give this to Red Bull now and just take him out? Just don't even let him race anymore.
Yeah, I think Max is just going to be so bored if he gets off the line clean, hits turn 1, and is off into the sunset. The biggest issue Red Bull's going to run into, I think, is making sure Max gets out of, and Checo get out of turn 1, and then can just go off into the sunset cleanly. Or like lapping cars on certain tracks, like blue flags are going to be an issue because they're going to be lapping so many people so many times.
Hey, you're getting lapped a second time now.
Hey, please don't crash into them a second time.
Oh God, that's going to be. But again, I can't wait for the news to come out that Red Bull's been cheating. Yeah. So I'm excited to see how they got all this extra speed.
Hell yeah.
And AlphaTauri is still just Alpha Tiny.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jan.
Shout out Jan, baby. But yeah, man, it's fun to see that. The other crazy thing going on between Mercedes and the top teams is more information and more gossip came out of our good friends at Maranello, the Italian prancing horse. Ferrari is 1 week in and just seems like, again, internally, politically crumbling to the ground. One car doesn't finish. Leclerc, again, everyone's just like, cool, new year, same Ferrari. Awesome. Shut it down. We're done.
For a podium, too.
For a podium. See, it's like, man, again, hopefully it's the opposite of what happened last year. Last year, Leclerc is off into the sunset. It was just the
curse of Bahrain.
No one's going to beat him. Everyone, Ferrari has got it wrapped up. That's exactly what we're doing right now with Red Bull. And hopefully this flips on its head. Ferrari figured it out, and Leclerc has a chance to be a world champion. I would love to see that. But I don't know. It seems like the systems and the infrastructure and the bureaucracy that is Ferrari just is self-sabotage, is holding them back. It seems like everyone who has a say is saying it, and Freddie V, our boy, Freddie Merc, Freddie Vass, doesn't have enough power. It seems like he got thrown into this pit of wolves that doesn't...
That's a fun little pun there, a pit.
Yeah, a little pit, pit stop of wolves. We're professional comedians. And... And so all this drama is coming out this week that Leclerc is unhappy. He's, rumored to be leaving at the end of his contract, and that Freddie V is already unhappy with how much power he doesn't wield as the team principal, which again, I think is just a Ferrari thing. I think it's the way Ferrari approaches politics, internal systems, all that stuff. I think they just get in their way over and over and over, and they can't get on the same page.
Well, and I would agree with that. I mean, that seems like the story of their life. I mean, that exact story to me echoes how Lamborghini got started.
Yeah.
They were so like, no, we're right. We're always right.
Yes.
You're idiots.
Yes.
We know what we're doing. And they're like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm showing you don't. I'm proving to you that you don't.
Yes.
And you're proving to us that you don't.
Yeah.
And like, nah.
And they're still, I think it's like...
Open another bottle of wine.
Yeah.
We're good.
Could we get some more bread for the table? It's like... That's the feeling I get, that every person who is in power at Ferrari seems to hold that feeling and seems to hold that value of I'm right, it doesn't matter. And when the whole company promotes that mindset, then employees with pillars of power inside that company are going to hold that mindset, because that's the company they come up a part of. And so it's just friction at all costs, at all moments of the day, and it just seems like that's what's going on. I remember even in the DTS scene with Vettel, when he's talking about making jokes with the PR team, and like that really famous red-haired lady who runs PR was like, we don't make jokes about this, not a time to joke. And he's like, well, it is a joke, that, right? like it's like, this does suck. And I think that's the philosophy at Ferrari is get in our own way and then tell everyone else we're doing great and you're wrong, even though I'm blowing it.
Yeah, right. Dude, wait, did 2 people leave? So is it David Sanchez that just left?
Yeah, 2 people left. We lost
2 people left. So
yeah.
the head of Aero.
Yep.
The chief of car concept also left.
The technical director will be, I think he's leaving. I don't think he has left, but they're both going to McLaren. Yeah, is what I think.
Wow.
I know that head of Aero is going to McLaren. I'm pretty sure.
The head of Aero is going to McLaren.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, so again, Zach Brown doing his work, man. He's getting those people to fly on over. So hopefully that makes a big difference. Me being selfish and want McLaren to have that brain power, but yeah, it must be bad to lose big names like that and to go to a team that you're actively beating, to go to a worse team. Which also, if you go back to a lot of the years with McLaren and Ferrari, and like they have a lot of history and scandal and controversy, and it must be, they must not like each other internally. So it's a huge FU to go from Ferrari to McLaren and be like, no, I'm taking my secrets and my brain and my knowledge over there. Yeah. So Yeah, it's getting juicy
it's
in
like
week 1.
They're so corporate that it's like they're, and I don't know if Comcast is everywhere, but it's like dealing with like the Comcast of the Formula One world. It's this huge corporation where you're like, or Eventbrite if you're in the comedy world.
Yeah.
Because something goes wrong and then you're like, you can't get any help. You have to run it. You have an idea. It has to run through 86 people.
Yep.
And then by the 83rd, they're like, nah, we're not doing it.
Nope.
So then it's got to go back down to these 82 other people, and it's like they're never gonna get it.
Yeah.
Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Yeah, it's too many layers. So
yeah,
we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens, and it's going to be interesting with all the drama. Honestly, I just want Leclerc and Carlos to do well. I want them to perform well. I hope the car and like the bullshit doesn't get in the way of them, because they're fun to watch. They're great personalities. I'm huge fans of them. It's just Ferrari steps on their own neck way too many times.
If Leclerc left, where do you think he could go?
Dude, I don't know. Maybe Merc, if they like flip it all of a sudden. There is that, like I said, there's that potential, and Merc is one of those teams that could get him.
Would Lewis have to leave?
I think so for sure. I think that's the move, is Lewis leaves and Leclerc pops over, or I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's not a ton of great options. Like maybe, what if Aston just crushes it this year and then, or for the next 2 years, and they're like, "What, do you want to take over?" So it's Leclerc and
Fernando's probably gonna leave soon.
Yeah.
So you wanna?
Yeah. Like what if Aston gets close to a world championship, like they get second. Let's say they get second. Do they use that for the next 2 years? They use that as a bargaining chip to then get Leclerc to come over and be like, "Dude, we're getting even better. We're stealing even more Red Bull secrets. We're stealing their trophies this next year." And like maybe he gets over. I don't know, but
I would love it if Lewis goes over to Aston Martin and you just hear him off record be like, I've always wanted to drive one of these Red Bull cars.
Yeah, it's always nice. Yeah. Well, did you hear Checo's quote was amazing. Checo was like, after the Bahrain podium, he goes, "Yeah, it's just really great to see 3 Red Bulls on the podium." I was like, dude, yes. It's like, this is the kind of shit house stuff we need.
Face was priceless.
Yeah.
The look on Fernando's face was just like, he's smiling. He's like, "You're not wrong."
Yeah, he's like, "Well, hey, podium's the podium, man. I don't know what you." Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
we're Aston Martin.
Yeah, Alonso loves it. He's like, "This is great." He's just king shithouse.
Do you think Freddie Vass regrets his decision to move over there now that he's seeing how little control he has and how much he's got to bang that big forehead on a wall now?
Yeah.
Who am I to talk? Look at this thing. We got the same forehead. We're brothers.
Perfect.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. My gut says no, not yet.
Okay.
Because
he is the team principal for Ferrari. That's pretty cool.
That's exactly right. And also, I'm guessing he had a decent idea of what he was getting into. He's been in the paddock for a long time. You just don't go in blindly to a team. I think he was a great choice. I think a lot of other people didn't want that job because they probably knew what they were getting into. So I would imagine that he also knew what he was getting into and was just like, we'll see how it goes. So there's going to be a job for him in the paddock no matter what happens at Ferrari. It's just like, why not go and try and win at the most iconic team in the sport? Like that's got to be such a draw. And Ferrari knows it, obviously, but again, they get in their way thinking that they're the best of the best and what they do is always right. Maybe Freddie V was like, let's just see what happens. And that's kind of seems like the attitude, but I don't know. Hopefully he can actually put some change into that system and Ferrari gets back to their winning. Because it's just so great when they win. It
is. And I feel like Charles Leclerc like belongs at Ferrari.
I know he is Ferrari.
Fits.
Yes,
he really does have that. Like, oh, you're a Ferrari driver for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Hot guys.
I can't see him in an AlphaTauri or I don't know if I could see him in a McLaren.
No, it's so funny to think about like other drivers going to weird teams, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Like, imagine Lewis in a Ferrari suit. Like, that would just be so weird. So weird. But I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, speaking of possible changes, let's talk about real changes.
Yes.
Toto 2.0.
Yes.
The Toto Y chromosome. The wife of Toto, his wife has been she's now appointed as the head of development, I believe, for the FIA, for like the feeder teams. Is that right?
So she's now the head of the academy, which is the
drivers' academy,
which is previously the W Series. So the W Series is now called the academy, where it's promoting. Let's just double check this as I'm saying it.
Because people are going to yell at us for this.
It's got to be,
And Lord knows I don't want a stat like they only let women talk 1.4% of the entire Drive Survive series. I don't want to say that. Susie Toto, or Wolf, Susie Toto.
Susie Wolff
should be,
beast.
She should be on that more often.
Yep. Yeah, so the F1 Academy is an all-female single-seat racing champion series founded by Formula One with its inaugural season this year in 2023. So, yes, it is what the W Series became. It is now hopefully got more funding behind it than the W Series. They can finish the year out. But Susie Wolff now is in charge of that. And if you don't know about Susie Wolff, just check her out. Like, read her Wikipedia. She's a beast. She is like... Yeah. She is a clone. Toto is a clone of her. I think she's the more powerful one, honestly.
I would think so too. Something says that someone's got a strap on, and it ain't Toto. All right.
Yeah, it's wild. So she was a race car driver. She raced for a long time, and then she became, hardcore into the managing side of the teams. She ran a team in a different championship series outside of single seaters. She's run teams with single seaters. She's been a team principal and a CEO, just like Toto. And so I just want to watch them fight. Honestly, they seem like they have
that'd be so cool.
A wonderful relationship. They're always so loving. They have, I think they have one kid, maybe two. I think it's just one son. But anyway.
He's probably the most proper kid you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, you don't see him because he's not being spoken to.
That's why they signed George Russell to tutor their son to become another AI generated. That's why they have him in the system. Yeah, their relationship to the media and on social media looks amazing. Like they look like they're so loving and they're always respectful, and they look like they get along very well. But like every relationship, there's issues, there's fights, and I just want to imagine that like Toto and Susie are fighting over something domestic. Has nothing to do with money or Mercedes or Williams.
What kind of trash bags they're going to use.
Exactly.
Like
they walk into the living room and then it's just like, oh, okay. And then just two lawyers show up on either side of the countertops. And it's like
a judge comes in out of nowhere. It's like, all right, here's our opening statements.
Yep, here we go.
I think we should get the scented bags.
Yes.
I feel like with the stuff we're throwing away with the goulash, we're gonna want a scented bag.
Yeah.
She goes, well, I hear your scented bag theory. However, they're worse for the environment and they burn my nostrils.
Yes.
So what we're going
and my rebuttal, I want hefty brand, but I know you're invested in the other competitor, Glad. And so we're both the heads of the trash bag empires. But either way, we'll settle and we'll just make our kid throw it outside.
Where his house is. He's not allowed to live in the house.
Yeah, he has
to live in a side wing.
He has to come home from boarding school once a week and take the trash back and throw it out in his Austrian
do chores
boarding
around
school.
the house and then go back to the boarding school.
Go back to Vienna or wherever they're boarding him. Yeah, totally.
God.
No, it's awesome that she's going to be the face of that because she's so well respected and everyone seemingly in the paddock has so much respect for her as a race car driver, her experience as a CEO. So exciting to see what she's going to do there. And also like just as a family, like the logistics, it's awesome that she can travel with the paddock now. Like, it's, you just think about how it's such a point of privilege to do that. But, there's mechanics and all those people, everyone else's family's at home. But Toto's wife is just like, oh yeah, I run a whole racing series. I'll just be traveling with you. Like obviously the Academy and like the XW series doesn't travel perfectly in line with the schedule of Formula One, but they do align a decent amount that I think they can see each other more over the years than other people with relationships in the paddock. So
yeah,
pretty
well,
fun for them.
and now she doesn't cost their budget. She's
Yeah.
part of the FIA budget now for her travel stipend.
That's the way Toto got back at the FIA for screwing him over. He's like, well, now I'm gonna make you guys pay us as a family via my wife making millions of dollars. Yeah.
Oh man, I bet you she's gonna dominate that, and I do like her being in charge of that, because having a Toto-esque, or like having a Wolff in charge of this new series and this new rebranding of the W Series. First of all, the W Series seemed like such a slap in the face. If I'm a female racer and I'm like, what do we have to call it, the W Series?
Yes.
Can we just call it Formula Chick or something?
Way more derogatory.
Formula Y or like some dumb shit like that. But I do like that she's the one who's going to be in charge of it, because she will not take shit. And she, I think, is going to bust some balls. And I think she's going to set up. I bet you we see a female driver in Formula One before they go net zero.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I gave myself a pretty big window there.
I would hope so too. Yeah.
I can see it.
There's so much talent. They're so good, and it's a sport that should be promoting it more. And we hear motorsport has always been the boys club, the car guys, but that's just not how it is anymore. It's just not the atmosphere in the paddock. And hopefully that changes. Yeah. And hopefully this is a great step forward. It's also it's great to have a female lead, to have a woman running the series instead of just a bunch of dudes being like, I'll tell these women how to race. It's like, no, that's someone who's respected and qualified, who can do a great job. It just seems like a great fit. So it'll be cool to see what happens there.
Who doesn't want to see less dudes? Have you seen some of these female racers?
Here we go, Brent.
I'm trying to keep it respectful, but they're gorgeous. And I'm like, let's get a little more of them in there. Could we, a little less Gasly, a little more Ashley?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm.
That's the Academy's tagline. Welcome to the F1 Academy. A little less Gasly, a little more Ashley. Everyone's like, HR would like to have a word.
Oh God. I think it's great, and good for her, and for the whole sport in general, but also for the Drivers Academy.
Yeah, a lot of things haven't gone the Wolff's way. I'm glad things are finally going the Wolff's way. But no, it is good.
So we got Jeddah coming up this week.
Jeddah, baby.
Saudi Arabia. Last year had a real spicy pre-race ritual last year. Shout out to Aramco. And the rebuild they've had to make.
Hopefully,
what do you?
Hopefully, there's not a lot of missile attacks happening. I also was laughing, like, it would be fun if DraftKings all of a sudden was like, oh yeah, we've got prop bets on missiles and terrorist attacks, and like, great, this is a fun sport. All
right, side bet on how many threats we're gonna get. Under 50, over 50.
Over 50.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I'm taking the over for sure. But yeah, real quick, excited for Jeddah. Nothing too much really to cover other than it's a really fast, scary street course with walls at every corner, blind corners. So just looking forward to watching a lot of just hectic, probably going to be a lot of safety cars, maybe a red flag or two. Last year, famously, Mick went into the wall pretty hard. So hopefully everyone gets out of there safe. It's a clean race, but it's such an exciting course. It's always fun to see these newer courses that are built for these cars just to go balls to the wall, no turns basically.
Dude, it's so straight. I've been doing it on my sim, and I'm like, this is so insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how because I'm just doing like laps right now to try just learn the track before I start doing a race. It's gonna take me 15 tries to complete one 5-10 lap race.
That's
it's
great.
Bad.
I love it. So excited for that. Looking forward to it.
Who do you think's gonna hit the wall first?
I think.
Sorry, Jan. I'm calling Nick DeVries.
Ooh, Nick DeVries into the wall.
I'm sorry, Jan. I know you love him.
Honestly, it's a good one. He's got the. It could happen. I'm trying to think. Yeah, because Nick hasn't. It was definitely a young driver. I don't want to say Oscar.
It's got to be a young driver for sure.
It might be Oscar.
I can see an Oscar too.
Yeah, or a Yuki. Yuki definitely has the chance.
Yuki, by the way, I've been watching Drive to Survive, and I just finished the Alpha Male one with Yuki, and I love him.
He's the best.
I loved him. I've always liked him.
Yeah.
And after this series, I'm like, God, I love him even more.
He rules.
He's so funny.
Such a great personality. So,
yeah, he's such a tiny little fella.
Yeah,
I love him.
He's great.
Shut up! I'm driving.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me in the braking turn. Don't. It's just. Yeah, I got it. I know.
And then the video that just came out of asking who do you think will play you in your movie? Like if you were in a movie, who do you think would star you? And everyone's like pretty normal, and then Yuki's like Jason Statham. That's the greatest answer of all time. It's perfect. I love it so much.
Yuki's my favorite.
He rules.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah.
I hope he gets some points this week.
Yeah.
Man.
So
it's so funny.
We made it.
But
we made it to the end. We made it to our Mazzy.
I'm so excited for this Mazzy.
This
is a unique one.
It's very unique. It makes me sad deep down in my heart that this happened. But the Mazzy is very weird and unique this week because I had my show at Comedy Works, and I was watching Brent open the show. He's crushing, and then I see a guy in the second row off to the side, and I'm like,
Stage right.
I was like, dude, that guy looks really familiar. Man, he had like a goatee. Couldn't really like place him. I was like, it's so weird. I had no idea because everyone that was there, I was pretty much friends with. I knew them from childhood or whatever. Couldn't figure it out. And then it clicks like midway through your set, and I was like, no way is that who I think that is. And the Mazzy goes to this guy who showed up to my show, who was
This is gonna be fun to hear you explain who this person
my
is.
sophomore geography or social studies teacher, who I haven't seen since, have no relationship with him. Legally, I'm gonna say that out loud. Because the reason I don't know him and don't want to know him and haven't talked to him is because he got life in prison. Life in prison for doing very horrifically illegal things that you would think a high school teacher could get in trouble for.
There you go. That's a good way to put it.
Life in
Yeah, I'll let
prison.
your imagination take it from there.
Life in prison. And I was like, no way. And then I like looked him up and realized he did 10 years, got out for whatever on parole, all that stuff. He's out and about. But I was like, and then I was getting text messages after the show from friends that I grew up with. They're like, whoa, was that the guy we think it is? And I was like, yeah, dude. I had to just not look that side of the room the whole show. I had my back.
I've had to do an hour of comedy and not address the right side of the room.
It was crazy. So the Mazzy goes to that guy showing up, absolutely insane. And then also just, I won't say what type of person he is, but Brent was like, are these all your type of fans? Are these the people who come to your show? And I was like, no, stop, no. But also very funny. But no, it's not. My fans aren't people who all just got life in prison for being creeps.
Oh, man, that's so freaking great.
Dude, so.
Yeah, it was. When you told me that, I was like, how is he here?
Yeah.
Did he break out of jail to get here?
He's a super fan. He's like, I can't miss the show. I can't miss the show.
I have listened to every single podcast. No! It's funny we can't block people from downloading the podcast.
It's all we get in Cell Block 3. We're all just huge grid penalty fans. Yeah. Heavy on the penalty side. We're in here. Hey. So,
oh, man.
We did it.
What a bummer for that guy.
Yeah.
But the show was great. This
Perfect.
episode was very fun. I'm excited to see what's going to happen in Saudi Arabia this week. It's going to be. I hope that Fernando keeps trucking. I hope that we get another double point finish for Aston Martin.
Ooh, I hope so
and
too.
That we're all just not getting excited for no reason.
Yes, I agree.
I want that.
Truly.
Because Ferrari last year was such a letdown.
Yes.
When we're all like, Ferrari's back, baby.
Yep.
And they were like, Ferrari's crap, baby. So I'm excited to see that. So
me too.
Let us know what your predictions are. And yeah, that's it. That's the show. We did it.
Thanks,
a hungover
guys.
show.
We love you so much.
60
Sorry
minutes.
about our hoarse voices. We sound like we're underwater, but Kat will hopefully just lay on the studio filters. Maybe we sound like we're just doing voiceover for GMC right now.
When you're climbing up mountains in 4-wheel drive low.
Are you trying to dodge a missile attack in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia? GMC.
Are you trying to do a dip while driving down the highway at 9 miles an hour? Introducing Copenhagen's long cut GMC.
Has your Uber driver? Did your Uber driver offer you cocaine? And it was just EDM music.
It's just Skrillex. Oh, damn it!
You're like, man, this is way worse than I thought.
Well, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Please give all of our team here a follow on Instagram or Twitter or however you do it. I am Brent Gill. You can find me. You can find Geoff at Jeffrey Tice, GeoffReyTice. Our producer, Kat Orlean at KO Recording. And Jan, our video editor, over at Points in a Williams on Instagram as well. Be safe out there, everybody. Wear your seatbelts and
don't take drugs from an Uber driver.
Which I didn't.
You didn't.
So it worked out. It definitely all worked out.
That's perfect.
Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Yeah. We love you, and we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.